Hello, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the weekly reading for the sign of Gemini. All right, my lovely Geminis. Here we go. We're going to get right into it. For those of you who are regulars, the subscribers, thank you so much for stopping by. Those of you who are new to the channel, the weekly read is all about looking at the main relationship that is on stage this week for you, whatever dynamic, whether it's work, family, friends, or lovers. Cross watchers, you're always welcome. All right, so let's see what's going on with our lovely Gemini's air sign of the twins today for this week. July 21st to the 28th. All right, your first card out, Gemini, is finances and career. Interesting. All right, I'm pretty sure Aries had this. And it is safe for you to love. Interesting. This also just came out. All right, so finances and career, and it's safe for you to love. Let's get right into your 7-card spread. We won't really know what any of that means specifically for you until we know what the cards are. So we're going to get right into it. I hope you're having a wonderful July so far, Gemini. All right. Let's see what's going on with our lovely Gemini. July 21st to the 28th. Show me. Interesting. 9 of Cups is coming out. I'm going to take that. It's wish fulfillment. All right. 7 of Cups. Wow, this just came out as well. For Aries, I believe. Same position, 7 of Cups. So, almost delusional dreaming, right? Thinking about wishing for 7 being the number for dreams. So you're dreaming about achieving things that are kind of like pie in the sky, right? There's some of these cups have jewels in them, a castle. There's a beautiful face to indicate vanity. Then we have the wreath over the cup with the skull. So that almost indicates victory over death. I want to say cheating death. So some of these are like, they can be considered as aspirations that are unrealistic. Or are they things that you truly want, you know? And this is very much the card of be careful what you wish for. Temperance is coming out for you, Gemini, Sagittarius. 9 of Wands for your other person, and King of Swords for the relationship. Your person is representing as moon energy. They see you as 10 of Pentacles, interesting, and the Tower. Wow. Okay, so bottom of the deck we have 9 of Pentacles. So the 9 of Pentacles is interesting. Again, we have inherent the Hermit energy being a 9. All of the 9s of the suit inherent in them have some warning or guess an admonishment of, you know, you got what you wanted, but are you really happy? Are you able to share with someone? Who do you share your joy with, right? Your accomplishments. Oftentimes, 9 of Pentacles can indicate somebody who's been alienated from their loved ones and their friends because of their status or because of their money and abundance, right? And so they've chased money. Yes, they've built, you know, 9 of Pentacles. You have achieved a lot. It's quite a beautiful card in terms of achievement. It's only one away from the 10 of Pentacles, but that one final ingredient to get you to the 10 of Pentacles is sharing, right? Is sharing. So Temperance is coming out. So right now you're very much identifying with Temperance. It could be Gemini that you just have a lot of feelings right now that you're dealing with, right? You have a lot of like tempering of your emotions that's necessary. You don't want to get too upset. You don't want to fly off the handle. It's not like you want to be too calm. You're just very much exercising temperance. I think you're just going through a period right now of a lot of emotional up and downs, right? And so you're bringing in that Sagittarian energy, trying to have dominion over yourself, which is what temperance is. Your person is representing as moon energy, so they're quite conflicted right now. I think they see themselves as going through quite a dark period in their lives right now, a period where things are very unsure for them. It can be quite daunting and scary, right? However, the moon inherent in it has transformation. It is Scorpio energy, right? So, well, it's Cancerian energy, but then also you have the Scorpion here, which is kind of indicative of the transformation. And in that way, it's Scorpion energy because of the transformation that the moon brings with it as you go through the, you know, the pathway, right? That journey through darkness. It's kind of a journey of going inside yourself and going to places where you shine the light of day. Because up until now, only the moon has been there, and so it's been unclear what's there. It's been kind of scary. It's silhouetted. You don't really see the whole picture. So it's been very anxiety stricken, you know, and sometimes frightening, right? But once you go through the path, you realize there is nothing really to be afraid of. And so inherent in that journey, that moon journey that we go through at times in our lives is a transformation, right? It's an understanding of the fears that we don't really need to have. And so your person is really going through a very emotional state, a very kind of unsure state, whereas you're presenting as being tempered, right? As exercising temperance and seeing temperance embodied by yourself. Interestingly enough, you guys both of you and your person have major arcana cards to represent yourself. So that's quite interesting. Indicates that this is a period of your life that's quite significant, where you're having quite significant changes emotionally and spiritually, right? There's real lessons here to learn and real exercises to do. So, and you're both in quite an interesting place. I can understand how someone who is in moon energy would appreciate someone who's exercising temperance, because moon energy, when you're in that, it can be oftentimes your emotions are all over the place. You can exhibit panic and fear in one moment, or kind of being enthralled and excited the next moment as well. So Knight of Wands talks about looking back. So you have this card for your person. It's quite interesting that you see this as your person. So you see your person going through a really difficult path in life, and maybe right now they're just taking a break to reassess. And you see that they're very battered and they're very tired. You see that life has really knocked them around a lot. I think some of the temperance you might be exhibiting or embodying right now may be as a result of this individual's kind of emotions right now, which may be very raw. Again, they are exhibiting moon, so they're keeping certain things from you. They're not being completely transparent with you. And I think to you, you see it very much, you see them as being this kind of mysterious character in a way, like, you know, you look at them, it's like you just imagine what all they've been through, right? I wonder if this is a new relationship. It could very well be that somebody has just come into your life. Quite interestingly enough, a lot of the readings so far have been about so far the trend has been about new relationships, or relationships that have taken a new turn. Your person sees you as 10 of Pentacles. So they see you as being the missing piece for them to achieve this all over abundance and happiness, right? This kind of house, home, and hearth, right? They see you as being the secret ingredient, I believe, to their kind of like happily ever after, right? But they're just coming through this period, right? Now, you see them as, you see that everything that they've gone through, you see it's really taken a toll on them, right? I wonder though, I wonder though if you're not just feeling sorry for them, because oftentimes when we see people like this, we do tend to feel kind of bad for them and sorry for them and start to make, adjustments and excuses and things. So be careful not to fall into that, because I do worry with this person exhibiting moon energy that they're really not telling you the whole story. And so they may have told you a tale or a scenario about their lives right now, in terms of everything that they've been through. And so, yeah, maybe you're seeing that, but then remember, people tell tall tales. Sometimes they exaggerate to pull you in. And so you exercising temperance right now is really good, certainly with 7 of Cups. And with it being, it is safe for you to love. So yes, it is safe for you to love, but be careful, because you have finances and career here. And this person sees you as the last piece to the puzzle of having a happily abundant life. So this isn't 10 of Cups, this is 10 of Pentacles. So they certainly see within you inherent an opportunity for some advancement, right? Or some impact on their status or their abundance level, right? So it could be quite interesting that up until now, they may have been exhibiting this 9 of Pentacles, right? But now, you know, the other side of it is that they see that being with you could take it to that 10 of Pentacles. And in that way, it isn't so much that they see a monetary opportunity with you, because they're already bringing all the monetary abundance with them that they've achieved for themselves. So that could very much be it too, right? However, with finances and career being here, it just seems to me that I almost wonder, like, yes, they may bring their own abundance and their own money, but it's almost as if they see you kind of as fitting in with their status. So even though you don't, they may not be seeking you for money, they may be seeking you to sort of legitimize their status, right? You know, some people are like, you know, they desire to be with someone who turns them into a power couple, right? They desire to be with someone who in some way reflects off of them well, right? They can show them off in certain circles, things like that, right? So I'm curious if that might be part of it as well, part of the attraction, certainly with them seeing you as their 10 of Pentacles. King of Swords is in to represent how you see the relationship. So I believe you see the relationship as one where you're constantly having to be perhaps the more mature one. You may feel like you have to be the one who always like insists on, you know, things being done the right way. You may be the one who is constantly calling others on kind of their lies or their duplicity, you know, their kind of like deception, or they're just, even if it isn't out and out deception, it's just kind of BSing ways. And I don't know if I wonder if you almost feel like you're the one who has to be in charge, right? You're the one who has to be strong. You're the one who has to be able to see everything from all sides. I think it's quite a heavy responsibility, right? Now, this could very much be, right? This could very much be also a family relationship where you are in fact maybe holding the finances for this person. For instance, this person may not be able to actually take care of their own finances, or they may not be deemed as responsible, able, or have the capacity. You know, it could be that you are their benefactor, or that you're the one who distributes their monthly stipend. You know what I mean? It could be that this is a child relationship, right? It may be a stepchild, or it could be someone else's child, right? And so it's interesting. It's like this could very much be a scenario where you see this person has gone through a lot. This person isn't always very honest, and so they're already like one of these at-risk individuals. Certainly, if you're in charge of their money, right? If you're in charge of their finances, or you're the one who lays down the law with regard to what they're allowed to tap or what they're allowed to get or whatever, right, then there is a level of dysfunction there, right? Certainly, or there is a level of, I want to say, risky behavior, right? Because you wouldn't need to be responsible for that if this person didn't exhibit risky behavior. So again, you could very well be dealing with a financial situation with someone who has a drug issue, right? Moon can indicate someone who's an addict. It could be a family member who's an addict, and so, you know, you're again, this very much would explain that type of scenario where, you know, you're the one who's constantly having to be tempered. Yet the relationship, you also see the relationship as you being the disciplinarian, being the one who's always in charge. And this person here has got moon energy, so they're not always being completely honest with you, right? They're not always telling you everything that's going on with them. They see you as the one who's key to their abundance. So that makes sense if you're holding on to their money or if you're responsible for them. And they see the relationship as a tower moment. So someone who's exhibiting risky behavior, someone who's an addict, someone who's going through crises like that, right? They would naturally see this relationship as a tower relationship, because it's constantly, certainly if you're dealing with an addict, right? They're always having a tower event in their life because they're constantly going back and forth between addiction and sobriety, the struggle between addiction and sobriety. And oftentimes with individuals who are going through things like that, they will constantly experience repetitive tower moments or one big long tower moment until it's broken down and they come out of their addiction. And so, yeah, they see this relationship as being like constantly, as in the tower, the divine lightning comes in to constantly break down what they've built up. And so I think that would very much fit in with an addict's sort of mentality, because they see you, they know that part of you is good for him. They see you as being integral to their well-being, and yet at the same time, surely a part of them hates that, and a part of them feels that you are there to destroy them as well. I mean, that's the thinking of an addict, isn't it? And so I wonder if this isn't a scenario where you're dealing with someone who's very, who's either toxic in some way, or they're an addict. And this is not to say that addicts are toxic, okay? Addicts are victims. If you're addicted to something, you're a victim. You're a slave to something, and and addicts deserve treatment. Okay, anyone who's addicted to anything deserves treatment. I myself have at times had addictions, to alcohol and certain things like that in my life. Going through difficult times where you lean on certain things, right? So there's a wide spectrum where addiction falls. However, this kind of behavior, right? This kind of behavior is also the same type of behavior that a toxic individual would display. So a toxic individual is not necessarily someone who's a victim of their addiction, but somebody who's calculating, or who is intentionally discordant and negative, and intentionally sowing seeds of negativity, right? Preying on people, manipulating people, simply for their own kind of emotional needs and desires. That's different to say than that's different from someone who is actually addicted to a substance, or is addicted to something, and to a certain degree needs to work through that with therapy and counseling. It's not an intentional desire for them to hurt people. It's more of a byproduct of their addiction, and they are the ones who are hurting the most, right? So that's very different. However, the same type of pattern of behaviors can be exhibited in both types of people, toxic individuals and individuals who are struggling with addictions, right? That's why it's very difficult to be the caretaker, to be the one who has to show temperance. It can be very hard. But this week will be a period, I think this week will be a time of dealing with this individual, right? Now, if this individual is not somebody that you're actually taking care of, but this is somebody that you're in some way have a relationship with, I just don't see, why you would only be a friend with this person. It's too much of an intense connection here. So if you're not responsible for them in the way that I just mentioned, and this is an actual relationship, then it's a difficult one, right? It's a difficult one, and this relationship does have some toxicity in it, because you're the one who's showing a lot of temperance. You're the one who's showing a lot of discipline and care, loving discipline, and they're the ones who are kind of being very, very cagey, not necessarily 100% truthful. They look at you for money, right? In terms of success, right? Or as I said before, maybe raising their own kind of status. This is not to say that this person has to be poor or anything. They could be a rich person and still be extremely toxic in that way, right? And they see this relationship as a tower moment because, again, there's a lot of turmoil with this individual. There's a lot of, if they didn't represent themselves as the moon, without, this tower would mean a lot different. But with this deception of the moon there, it's almost as if the tower represents just kind of the toxic and explosive relationships they continue to have in their lives as a result of this behavior, as a result of not always being completely honest, as a result of looking at people as an opportunity rather than a relationship. And here you're kind of seeing them from the outside in, and you see that they're really broken in a lot of ways, right? But again, finances and career comes up. So if this is a toxic individual, a lot of it has to do with their sense of money. Again, they don't have to be broke. They're not necessarily looking for you to give them money, but they have a very toxic relationship with money in terms of how important they feel it is and how important status is, and keeping up with the Joneses, etc., etc., right? So this is also very relevant to this kind of delusional thinking, wanting things that just don't make sense, right? Again, and out comes Nine of Cups, which was interesting because Nine of Cups is very much about, again, nines are about, you have 2 nines in this reading. Nines in all the suits have an indication of loneliness. So this person has gotten a lot of what they wanted. They got what they wanted a lot of times. They have this kind of very self-satisfied, smug look on their face, but yet they're sitting apart from their 9 cups. And there is yet again this sense of alienation and of like, are you truly fulfilled? Yeah, you got your wish. Yeah, you're happy. You live in a nice house. You've got friends. You've got, these nice relationships, and everything's going swimmingly. You have this easy way at work and these good work relationships. But are you truly fulfilled? Because there's part of you that holds back, right? This isn't quite the 10 of Cups. It's still the 9 of Cups. Also, 9 of Cups can sometimes indicate an answer to a wish. That a wish is being fulfilled. Not anything like a lifetime wish like star energy, but that a wish for a relationship is being fulfilled. And it could just mean that this Tower moment that they're having and this King of Swords that you're embodying in relation to this relationship, in response to where this relationship is right now, it could be that you're at a point where you're ready to cut them off. Right? And this could be another reason why they're having a Tower moment. You're ready to cut them off. You've had enough of indulging them. Even if you're taking care of someone who's vulnerable and you're the one in control of their money and finances, I think you're coming to a point where you've had enough of that as well. You're just ready to kind of cut them off, right? King of Swords. And I don't mean because I see a sword in the King's hands. Oftentimes you see people interpret cards in this very, like, simplistic, like, way of reading the symbols without actually knowing the meanings behind the symbols. But I say that you're ready to cut them off because you're ready to employ the King of Swords energy, which is all about honesty. It's about protecting the truth. It's about protecting integrity. The King of Swords is the great protector of the meek, as long as the meek also try, as long as they make an effort as well. He's not the one to indulge idleness or to indulge phoniness or to indulge people who don't want to work for themselves or don't want to work for their own kind of like evolvement, right? And so in that way, you've had enough, right? Also, you're calling them in a way to present like, okay, what have you done with yourself? I've given you all of this support, and what have you done with it? I've had enough. And so because of that, you're ready to cut them off, right? You're ready to be that King of Swords and kind of almost even lay down judgment and say, and not judgment in a way, in that weird kind of archetypal, Western way that we look at it in terms of right and wrong, but only judgment in that sense of discerning the situation and realizing enough is enough and that there's not much more you can do for this person. This person is almost always going to exhibit moon energy, almost always going to look at people as an opportunity and continue to go from Tower moment to Tower moment. You cutting them off may be just yet another Tower moment. And I think that this might be the wish granting that you're looking for, because I believe that this dynamic has been weighing on you for quite some time, and you're very ready to kind of like let it go and be safe in love. And it is safe for you to love. I think that this scenario has been quite an unsafe feeling for you, or a precarious feeling in a way. You care for this person, right? There's certainly a caring there for this person, but there's also very much like a, your life is just kind of, going by you, by you having to just worry about their issues, and, and it's just time for you to get on with your life and let them get on with their lives. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to quickly pull your 3 cards to round this up. All right, Gemini. upside down. Yes. Nine of Wands coming out. There you go, stamina. That's interesting. The Magician. So you're trying a lot of things to accomplish this manifesting. And Knight of Cups. So there you go. Nine of Wands is coming out. So yeah, you do realize that they've been through the struggle. But I think you've also been through a struggle with them. And as much as you see this in them, you see that they've gone through a lot. I think that you've gone through a lot with them. And it's time, and it's time for you to have your Nine of Wands and assessment and to dig deep for that last bit of stamina to finally like close off this relation in a way that's healthy. This relationship in a way that's healthy for both of you. You've got the Magician here, so that's quite interesting. The Magician talks about manifesting, but he also talks about, you know, skills, honing those skills of manifestation, right? The Magician doesn't always get it right. He tries and he practices and he taps into a lot of different things to be able to manifest. Oftentimes with the Magician, we forget about all of the things that's necessary for the Magician to accomplish his task of manifesting his goal. Sometimes he's unable to do it and he's got to go back into his study and he's got to, you know, dig into some other energies and mix those energies together in just the right amounts to be able to accomplish it. So you feel like you have everything you need, but it's also at the same time you've been trying a lot of things and it hasn't been working, and it's time now for you to very much use kind of like that King of Swords energy. It's, you know what I mean? It's time to dig even deeper and understand that sometimes you can't just manifest somebody's sobriety. You can't just manifest healthiness for them. It could be that you really have tried everything with this individual, right? It could also be that you're now, you know, you're ready to manifest a new life, you know, but I don't think that's what it is. You know what I mean? I just don't feel that. It's like not everything is about manifesting a new life and a new opportunity. You know, life is about all kinds of intricacies, right? And so sometimes we are in our Magician energy and we have what we believe it takes, but a lot of it has been trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. And I think at this time, one of the lessons of the Magician also is to understand when things are simply out of your hands. When, you know, things like this, when you're dealing with other people and their free will, some things are simply out of your hands and there's only so much you can do. Knight of Cups is coming in with that nurturing empathy. There is understanding here. Right? There's a lot of understanding and a lot of empathy, I believe, for this individual. But it's also time for you to have empathy for yourself, I think. And that's the feeling here that, you know, it requires you. Yes, you're required to exhibit your Knight of Swords, which is very strict and discerning. But along with that, don't forget your Knight of Cups, which is empathy and nurturing and understanding and realizing that we can all find ourselves kind of in the situation that this individual is in, but at the same time, we don't need to be tied to them, right? And to be tied to their either dysfunction or addiction or toxicity or whatever it is, right? Sometimes you can, with empathy, let go. All right, so this is it. I'm going to call it, Gemini. This is your reading for July 21st to the 28th. If it resonated with you, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. All right, hit that bell so you get notified on all my video releases, not just some of them. Check out my pick a card video I just did on ghosting and how to move forward. And for right now, I'm just going to say, Gemini, I love you so much. Have a wonderful July week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.